Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Blaze.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Welcome to this interview. We are Rock Alavena from Chile, and you are welcome in this space.
Muchas gracias, señor.
And let's go to start the interview. Ignacio.
Well, hello, Blaze. I'm Ignacio.
Hello.
I wanted to start asking you. Well, we love the album. The album is really, really good.
Thank you.
I wanted to start with, let's start with the bad stuff. What were the original plans for you in 2020 if there was no pandemic? Do you think we would have heard this album in 2020?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we planned it. We normally have a plan which we try to look 5 years, go, well, if things go this way, these are all the things we'd like to do in 5 years. Do this, and if we want to do them, what would be the deadline that makes that possible? And so for this album, we were going to be recording in 2020. We were booked to record, but we had some really interesting festivals to do, and in between, so we'd do a couple of weeks writing, then rehearse, go to a festival, come back, day off, do some more writing, then and like that, then a little bit of tour, and then back and finish the recording and the mixing. So what happened was, each time a festival got postponed or cancelled, it gave us an extra 3 days to work on the album, or 3 days that we could use for the album. And when the touring had to be cancelled, that was an extra 2 weeks. So what happened was, we were able to have more time available to spend on the album. Sometimes that was having a break, not listening, coming back, looking at things fresh. Sometimes it was a big stretch from one part to the other, finishing things off before we stepped away. So actually we had much more time available because of the cancellations. It's horrible because we had very cool festivals and some nice things planned to do with the anniversary of my 10th Dimension album. But the good side was we got more time for War Within Me. And also my manager said, this time you can have the vinyl on the same day as the CDs. And what? He goes, yeah, you've done well. We've been very careful with the money. And now you can afford to get the CDs and the vinyl printed at the same time.
Awesome.
And have them on sale as the pre-order. I was like, wow. So of course, I'm 14 again. Because I'm thinking, yeah, forget the CD. I've got, look at the artwork for the vinyl. And I said, right, but it's single disc, old school, black vinyl. Yeah, great. But I said, I want gatefold. Yeah! Gatefold! Ha ha! Ha ha! So here's the vinyl, and here is the booklet. So a big booklet to go with, oh man, it's fantastic. And then on the board there we've got, right man, side 1, side 2. What ends side 1? What starts side 2? Ah, it's just fantastic. And it was just wonderful to be able to work on what was going to be a record in the old school sense of what a record is. This is a record. It's a recording, but we call this in the old days a record. He made a record, something that when I aspired to be a singer that I wanted to have. So that was really, really cool. The next thing about it was, as we came back from that South American tour, and we were in Paris airport doing the change to get to the UK, and people are there with the masks on, and there's posters up, warnings about it, and yeah, man, this isn't good, because there was nothing in South America, nothing had touched South America yet. And then I realised as things went on, and we did our last gig in March, I thought, I really have a responsibility with this album. This, in one way, is more important than almost all of my other solo albums, because my fans have been waiting 2 years. Now they're in a pandemic, shows are gone, they're waiting for the next Blaze Bayley album. When they get it, they have to go, oh,
Finally.
I've got my
Freaking
Blaze
final.
Bayley album. It's just what I wanted. It's good. Oh, and they're going to live with that album and play it again and again, and it has to be great and not boring, and give inspiration and strength, and give my fans that have given so much to me, that I'm so grateful for, the support that I found. I felt I had to make a record that was very, very special and very positive in its overall outlook. I said to Chris Appleton at the start, this album must be positive. If fans have been waiting 2 years for an album, when they see it and when they put it on, when it's in their headphones, when I am in the head, inside the head of my fans, what am I going to say? I have a responsibility to those people. When my fans put me in their car and they're driving along, listening to me, what am I going to say? When my fans take me to their bedroom, put the lights out, and listen to me in the dark, how would they feel? And those were the things that became important to me, and all of the details became very, very important. And all of the time I had in mind my fans and my hardcore fans that come and see me 2, 3, 4 times on the tour, people that supported me for years when I was going through the worst darkness. They said, I'm excited about your next album. When will you be on tour? When will you make another record? Don't give up. I thought, these are the people that I have to have in mind when I'm making this album. And so what we did, Chris and I, we were very aware of this, and we constantly asked the question, this instrumental bit, is this a great journey that takes you from the end of the chorus to a place you didn't know about, that gives you energy and then gives you the end of the song, or is it boring? Is this something where you want to pick up your air guitar, or do you think, well, I'll just get through this to the next bit? So, and this is what we did every time. Is this vocal boring? Is this interesting? What texture of the voice do we want to have with this lyric to make sure that my fans get the emotion that I'm trying to talk about. I want to go in through the ear, down to the heart, and say, if your heart is cold because of this tragedy, I will warm your heart with the power and the passion of my album. And it's perhaps it sounds arrogant, it sounds cheesy, it sounds dumb, it sounds stupid. I don't give a fuck how it sounds, because I have a heart of metal, and so do thousands of fans, and we don't care what is dumb or cheesy or is embarrassing, but we do care about what makes us feel good. And that's what we wanted to do. In places, it's the simplest album, and in other places, it's very complex. But everything is about supporting the emotion that says things are not hopeless and you are not alone. And if you feel defeated, come with us, because you can be a warrior, you can pick yourself up, you can fight again.
Bueno, Blaze, ahí está. Blaze, I'm gonna do my best to translate everything.
Good.
Blaze, bueno, le pregunté cuáles eran los planes originales para él en 2020 y él dijo, claro, que entre presiones en festivales y grabar el disco iba a estar turnándose. Y resulta que, bueno, llegó la pandemia, su último show fue en marzo, los festivales empezaron a correr, pero como ya la presentación empezó a correr, se le agregaron como 3 días extra para grabar el disco, tuvo más tiempo para grabar el disco. Y como este tiempo de pandemia ha sido horrible, la motivación que él puso en este disco es del positivismo, ¿cierto? Que si uno está triste o derrotado, que uno al escuchar este disco sienta, le caliente el corazón, ¿cierto? Que uno esté motivado al escucharlo, y que es una manera de agradecer a sus fans que lo han seguido por ya, que lo van a ver 4 o 5 veces en una sola gira, que es un disco que para él fue simple de hacer, y que se emocionó harto porque le ha ido tan bien y porque ahora tiene tiempo, logró hacer ese hermoso vinilo y lanzarlo al mismo tiempo que el CD. Normalmente ocurre que se lanza primero el CD digital y después el vinilo viene después, pero ahora se lanzó todo junto y ahí lo mostró y es espectacular. Dale, Ale.
Blaze, about your experience in Coquimbo 2019 in your tour, the earthquake.
Right on the front of the album, this part is the earthquake, the symbol of the earthquake. There. That's the Coquimbo, because the earth is going like that, and that's the symbol of it. Each song has a reference, and this is the one for Coquimbo there.
Good.
How was the experience? Now that it's been a long time since.
I've been in earthquakes before. Los Angeles, little earthquake. Japan, little earthquake. Here in Dudley, we had an earthquake which spread across very wide around the city. Rare, very rare, but it shook things, you know. And okay, so I wasn't too worried about earthquake, but you know what? In my mind, I completely switched off about the danger of earthquakes in Chile. It was gone from my mind. I never thought about that. I thought, right, can I sign for all my fans before the concert? What a beautiful stage. What a wonderful venue. We're right by the sea as well. Beautiful sunny day. We had problems getting there because of difficulties with the airline staff. But anyway, we're there. It's just great. Lovely, lovely people. Treated like kings. I was not worried about earthquakes. So, we're 5 songs in, and fans start running out of the venue. You know, normally, if the gig goes badly, fans throw things on the stage, right? But
Yes,
they're
of
running
course.
away. I'm like, what? Then the lights are out, blackout, and then the promoter's on the side of the stage, and he's going, Blaze, it's an earthquake, we've got to go. And I'm like, what? So, and then I hear, and Martin McNee is still playing the drums in the dark, alone on the stage.
Alone.
So
Didn't hear you.
Martin, it's an earthquake, stop. So it starts. Luckily, I got a flashlight with me. We get it. Then this is the really scary part, because we all had that same message pinged to our phones: tsunami warning. Now, a few years ago, it was Christmas Day. There was a horrific tsunami, thousands of people dead, absolutely terrible. And so you know then the danger of the tsunami and what it can be. We are 10 meters from the ocean. And I'm thinking, that's scary, man. And I go, wow, that is a scary bit, because the danger of the tsunami was like horrific. So we did manage to get to higher ground. They found a van, they took us up, and we waited there until the all clear. And then when we came back to the venue and the lights went on, there's bits of it in the street and all of that. And wow, man, that was disturbing. And then you had a little aftershock when we were in the hotel as well. So that was disturbing. And Omar, the promoter, said, do you think you'll write a song about this? I mean, I'm so, I said, but actually, yeah, because I have written songs about concerts before and things that happen. And it is quite a normal thing in rock and metal. You know, Smoke on the Water, probably the most famous, and then Long Arm of the Law by Saxon, the band's played on, different, so yeah. And then we're at home, we're in the studio, we're writing, and you know what? I have got no clue what to start the lyrics with. I'm like, I was in an earthquake. Ooh, yeah, scary. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound good. And it's like, tsunami, what on it? No, that doesn't sound good. So I said to Chris, on that tour, how many flights? And he said, 18 flights, 15 shows. And I'm like, ding, that was it. And once I got that, 18 flights and 15 shows, 6 countries away we go. Could not say, you could not know. An earthquake comes to Duckimbo. Stop the show. And that was it. So we had it. And it turned out absolutely great. And for a lot of people in my team, you know, that know me all the time, everything, and they're intimate with the whole process, that's their favourite song. On the War Within Me album, it's that song, 18 Flights.
Bueno, ahí Blaze cuenta que su experiencia, ¿cierto?, con el terremoto que pasó en Coquimbo. Él dice que ya había vivido experiencias con temblores, pero nunca tan fuertes, ¿cierto? La diferencia acá es que estaban a 10 metros del mar, que donde estaban tocando está muy cerca, y les llegó a los teléfonos, creo que como a todos en ese día, la advertencia de tsunami. Entonces, por suerte, lograron meternos en la van y llevarlos a terreno alto. Bueno, el baterista seguía tocando cuando la gente se fue corriendo y las luces estaban apagadas. Y una vez que pasó, obviamente vinieron las réplicas en el hotel, pero ya creo que no pasó nada malo. Y ahí el promotor del evento le preguntó si le iba a escribir una canción. Obviamente estaba todavía choqueado por la experiencia, entonces no le dio una buena respuesta, pero finalmente sí. ahí lo dijo él, es bastante común, como lo que pasó con Deep Purple, ¿cierto? Escribir canciones sobre conciertos. Y bueno, y escribió ahí 18 Flights, no tenía una manera de iniciarla, ¿cierto? Bueno, y ahí nos cantó el inicio de la canción y tiene que ver con los vuelos, ¿sí? Eran 18 vuelos, 15 ciudades, y ese es el inicio de la canción. Y bueno, ahí está Coquimbo escrito en la letra, así que eso lo hace más especial. Blaze, 18 Flights, it is indeed one of my favorite songs in the album, but I also love Pull Yourself Up. You speak in the beginning about the positivity in this album and wanting to warm people's heart in these terrible times. And I wanted to know what's the story behind that one, because I love the lyrics to that one. That's my personal favorite. That's the one who reached my heart.
It's a true story, again, and I had my own adversities and problems and things I had to get through. And there's two important things in my life, and this includes both of them. And there it is, and the pictures of me with my motorcycle, because I'm addicted to my motorcycle, and I love riding. I just have an ordinary motorcycle, nothing special, not expensive. I'm not a big rock star. I just love to ride. And years ago, just after I joined Iron Maiden, I had a horrible motorcycle accident, and my knee was smashed to pieces. And when I went to start the physio, he said to me, "You may never walk again without a limp. You may limp for the rest of your life." And I thought, you don't know me. So this is the first part here. He said, "I could not walk. Come and walk with me." Because I put myself through it, and I refused to give up, and I made sure I built back the strength in my leg. It was almost impossible, and I went through severe pain to get through it. And these lyrics, when you think it's all or nothing, when you abandon everything in your life that can distract you from the laser focus you require. So what I had to do was go, only this matters. Only getting the strength back in this leg. Only being able to bend this leg again. That's all that matters. And that's what it was. So the first part says, he said, and that's the physio that said to me, he said I could not walk. Now, see me? Come and walk with me. They told me it couldn't be done. Then the next thing, in my career, since I started, I love singing. I'm not a naturally talented singer. I learned to sing because I wanted to be a singer in a band and tour the world like Ronnie James Dio. And people said to me at the start, some people, not everyone, some people said, "You will never make it as a singer. You will never be a singer. You cannot sing." Here I am on Skype with men from Chile talking about an album that I made. I own the record label. I produced the album with Chris Appleton when people said I couldn't sing. And I have thousands of fans in Chile that like to hear me sing. So
Indeed.
fuck you.
Yes.
So they said I could not sing. No, my fans come and sing with me because they told me it couldn't be done. But that's their attitude. Don't let other people define you with what they say. Take hold of your life, define yourself, and realize that you have a choice. If you're lying down there, you have the choice to try and pull yourself up. When there's no one, you have a choice, but they don't want you to know that you have that choice because they are comfortable when people give up and when people fight and have passion in their hearts and decide that they will take control of their own life. That is what upsets a lot of very negative people. And that's what Pull Yourself Up is about. And normally I wouldn't have a repetitive chorus like that, but really that song is about exercises, push-ups, but everything. Pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Come on, get going. That's what it is. To yourself. To yourself. To yourself. Going. Pull yourself. You there. Hey, forget about yesterday. Forget about tomorrow. Be here now. This is where you take your first step.
Bueno, ahí Blaze, yo pregunté sobre mi canción favorita del disco, Pull Yourself Up. Es una canción, ¿cierto?, de superar obstáculos, ¿cierto?, de no dejar que personas negativas definan quién eres. Él cuenta la historia de que tuvo un accidente en moto, ¿cierto?, le gusta andar en moto, tuvo un accidente en moto cuando recién se metió Iron Maiden y le dijeron que quizás no iba a caminar nunca sin cojear. Y le dijo al fisioterapeuta, le dijo, no me conocí, yo voy a... Y de hecho, y ahora camina súper bien. Y en otra historia dijo que él obviamente no es un cantante, no nació cantando, sino que aprendió a cantar. Y le dijeron, hartas personas, pero no todos, hartas personas le dijeron que no lo iba a lograr, que no iba a tener éxito. Y resulta que sí lo tuvo, que está hablando con nosotros de un disco, de una disquera que él es el dueño, el disco es de él, no es su primer disco y ha tenido un éxito rotundo. Entonces como que la canción habla de, y por eso tiene un coro repetitivo, ¿cierto?, de tirar para arriba. Eso es básicamente tirar para arriba y tirarte a ti mismo para arriba. No es que es como una canción para motivarte a uno mismo de dejar el pasado atrás y concentrarte en el futuro. Dale.
Blaze, Whitin Me is the best album of your career. This new career.
Not for me to say. I live now and I've done the best album that I can do right now with the experience that I have, the talent, the creativity. Then I've done this album. The reason I've been able to do it is because I have support from fans around the world. That's why without my fans, there's no War Within Me album. My fans pre-ordered this album and they helped me make it. They paid for it. They made it possible for me to make it. Some of those fans have said they think it could be my best album. Only time will tell. Silicon Messiah had some very good reviews and some rubbish reviews, and from a commercial point of view, Silicon Messiah album, my first solo album, which contained my hopes and dreams, was a total failure. Then 10th Dimension album, the same, because of the record company, the timing, everything, complete failure. And that has been the story. And now I own my own tiny record company, and I'm the only artist, and I have a wonderful team of people around me that are concerned with music and quality and providing good value for my fans. Now I have the opportunity to make this album. Now it's up to my fans to decide. For me, it is one of my favourite records that I've done because it was so simple. But also it's a very, very challenging album because my own expectation was very high. And I had a lot of anxiety. What will my fans expect? Will I be able to get close to what my fans are expecting after 2 long years with no studio album, and they don't know what to expect because I could do anything? So for me, it's an album I'm very, very proud of. And I think as we get further away and these songs come to life on the stage, that's when fans can decide which is the best Blaze Bayley album.
Bueno, le preguntó si es que consideraba que Whitin Me era su mejor disco, y él dice que no le corresponde a él responder eso, que corresponde a los fanáticos, ¿cierto? Él le pidió ayuda a la gente, a los fans, que para que lo ayudaran económicamente a crearlo, y la respuesta fue súper positiva, logró crear el disco. Y de esas personas que aportaron dinero, claro, le dijeron a él que efectivamente era uno de sus mejores discos. Obviamente solamente el tiempo lo dirá. Sus primeros 2 discos fueron bien recibidos por la gente, pero económicamente les fue pésimo. Pero ahora él es dueño de su propia disquera, está rodeado de gente que lo único que le importa es la buena música, es la calidad, ¿cierto? Entonces solamente el tiempo dirá, pero el tiempo dirá, obviamente las canciones tienen que ir cobrando vida, tienen que tocarse en vivo, pero claro que algunas personas le han dicho que es el mejor disco, pero solamente el tiempo dirá. Blaze, one thing that I loved about this album is the trilogy that you have here, you know, the dream of Alan Turing, the power of Nikola Tesla, and the unstoppable Stephen Hawking. I love all 3 ones. I think I like the dream the best. But what is the story behind? Why do you have this trilogy?
Well, it was never meant to be a trilogy. I've always enjoyed writing about historical characters. I enjoy science fiction. I enjoy science fact. The world that we live in now is so different from the world I experienced as a child. There are so many magical, wonderful things that we can do now that we couldn't do back then. So I've always had this affinity with science and science fiction. And I wanted to do something about Nikola Tesla from the psychic point of view. Nikola Tesla had a dream of a water wheel and Niagara Falls. Years later, he is building with Westinghouse the world's first hydroelectric power station at Niagara Falls. From a dream that he had. He didn't even know Westinghouse. He'd never been to Niagara Falls. He's from Serbia. And the other dream that he had, the AC/DC brushless electrical motor came to him in his imagination, and he had to put it down using his finger and a stick in the sand on the beach of the river so he could see it and visualize it. And so this was incredible. And Nikola Tesla wanted to give electricity and transmit pure electricity through space, through the atmosphere. And that was never realized, but that was what he was working on. So I really wanted to celebrate Nikola Tesla. He's an awkward character, geeky, nerdy, genius, and electricity. I would find it very difficult to exist without electricity. You know, I'd still be able to sing, but I wouldn't be able to make records. So that was Nikola Tesla. Then Alan Turing, this is a sword with two sides, because Alan Turing is the godfather, widely accepted as the godfather of modern computing. The machine that he invented to crack the Enigma code of the Nazis in World War II saved thousands of lives. Perhaps it saved the war, but it's AI, artificial intelligence. Alan Turing did dream of a thinking machine, and it's widely considered and used the Turing test, and it is this: when a machine can fool a human, deceive a human being into thinking that it is a human being, it has passed the Turing test and it can be considered intelligent. Here's the problem for me and Elon Musk and thousands of other people like us. We say this, right? The first time that you talk to an intelligent machine, it has to deceive you. It has to lie to you. It doesn't say, hello, I'm a machine. Why don't we have a conversation? What did you do?
Of course,
No,
yeah.
it goes, hello, I'm a human being. And the human is going, is this a human being or a machine? The human being is suspicious. Suspicion and deception. This is the spark of AI in the world. The next evolution of consciousness on planet Earth starts with deception. Now, that can't be good, because if you've asked someone to deceive you, why would they stop? Why would they stop deceiving you? And this Alan Turing dreams of thinking machines. And what happens to those machines is just a way that are treated. So this is the Alan Turing thing. That's his. Oh, where is he? Alan Turing. There he is, sorry. There's Alan Turing's page. Okay, with his Enigma machine. And the key thing in this is imitation without limitation. Choose the most appropriate response to the question, how do you feel? So the machine chooses, oh, I better tell them that I feel like this, then they will think I'm human. So that's part of that. That's the second part of it. And of course, Stephen Hawking, that's the one I showed you before. That's the Stephen Hawking artwork here. And you see here is the black hole. And there's Stephen Hawking's chair disappearing into the black hole. And I wanted to celebrate not the scientific achievement of Stephen Hawking, but as a man. He was told he had 3 years to live, and he's bent up in a chair. He can't talk. He writes a book, and years later, he's on stage giving a lecture on the other side of the world. he refused to stop. That's right, it's the unstoppable Stephen Hawking. 49 years after they said you've got 3 years to live. So it's an incredible thing. For me, it's very humbling. Here I am, I can get up, I can walk around, prepare my own food, phone anybody, have a conversation, sit on my computer, ride my motorcycle, write my album. I have no big problems. There's Stephen Hawking, stuck like this, can't do anything on his own, and he kept going. He managed to find a way to keep going. So that's why he's a hero. The unstoppable Stephen Hawking. And it's just a fantastic thing that as a man, he never gave up.
Bueno, yo le pregunté, porque hay una trilogía en este disco bastante especial, The Dream of Alan Turing, ¿cierto? The Power of Nikola Tesla y The Unstoppable Stephen Hawking. Yo le pregunté por qué esta trilogía, y me contó, claro, sobre cada uno. Nikola Tesla, ¿cierto? Que creó una central hidroeléctrica en Canadá cuando él era de Serbia, que inventó la electricidad, que sin electricidad no estaríamos haciendo nada de esto, que él podría cantar quizás, pero no grabar discos. Entonces eso lo motivó a escribir sobre él. En el caso de Alan Turing, claro, hizo algo increíble durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial, pero él creó el test de Turing, ¿cierto? Para saber si es que una computadora o una máquina es inteligente o no. Y él usó, y eso se le ocurrió en un sueño, ¿cierto? Él soñó con una máquina o computadora inteligente, y el test de Turing se sigue usando hasta el día de hoy. Entonces como que él usó esas dos ideas para escribir sobre ellos y hacerlos calzar con la temática del disco, que es cierto que es motivacional. Y The Unstoppable Stephen Hawking creo yo que es el más claro. Un hombre que con una enfermedad que le dieron 3 años de vida, y resulta que 49 años después, como Blaze dijo, estaba dando una lección al otro lado del mundo, y que eso lo hace un héroe, y que la canción, más que hablar sobre sus logros científicos, habla de él como hombre, ¿cierto? Y de lo que logró hasta el día que falleció. Y ahí mostró el artwork de las tres canciones en el libreto del vinilo. Dale.
About your experience in Wolfbane and Iron Maiden, what do you say about this in your experience in your life? What is the emotion or another?
Well, Wolfbane, we started from nothing. Jeff Haitley, the bass player, and Jace Edwards were at school together, and they started Wolfbane, and it was such an incredible thing for me to be a part of. We've had another reunion, and now we're making a new Wolfbane album, because so many live events have been cancelled. We've got time to get together, so we hope that will be coming out next year, a new Wolfbane album. The experience of being in Iron Maiden is wonderful for me. I learned so much, and in the studio working with Steve Harris, I found another part of my voice that I never knew about before, I never used before, and that started in Iron Maiden on X Factor and Virtual 11. And it's been an important thing, you know, those experiences starting. Now I've got 11 studio albums of my own. I've got thousands of fans around the world. I live my life as an artist. I'm not a rock star. I don't have a lot of money. I live as an artist, and that is a wonderful, wonderful way to live, and I'm grateful to all of my fans around the world for their support and making it possible for me to live as a full-time professional heavy metal singer. I'm incredibly lucky to have that. And now I think all my experience has come together. On the wall within the album, you can hear the Iron Maiden influence. You can hear the Wolfbane influence, but you have a Blaze Bayley album. And I hope that people will listen without prejudice. Just go, okay, I'll listen once. That's all I ask. Give me one chance to get in your ear and down to your heart.
Bueno, Ale le preguntó a Blaze sobre su experiencia en Wolfbane y Iron Maiden, y él dice que aprendió mucho en ambas experiencias, ¿cierto? Contó un poco de que Wolfbane, claro, se formó porque Jason Edwards y Jeff Hadley estaban en la escuela juntos, que él se metió, pero Wolfbane partió de la nada, ¿cierto? Y terminó siendo bastante exitosa. Ahora, en tiempos de pandemia, se ha logrado juntar y se viene un nuevo disco de Wolfbane, y eso ya sería para el próximo año, así que espectacular eso. Y bueno, y Iron Maiden, trabajar con Steve Harris y crear música con Steve Harris en los dos discos de Iron Maiden, en el que los cantó, fue descubrió un nuevo lado para su voz, que él no había descubierto en ese momento, y eso lo ha ayudado ya a crear esta carrera solista con fanáticos propios, ¿cierto? Y lo que él pide, obviamente él dice que en Whitin Me está la influencia de Wolfbane, está la influencia de Iron Maiden, y que él pide nomás una oportunidad, que escuchen el disco una vez, y eso es lo que toca el pie, y obviamente estará la influencia de ambas bandas en el disco, pero es un disco Blaze Bayley de principio a fin. Blaze, something that I love about the album is the artwork. You have shown us a lot about the artwork in the booklet, and I wanted to ask, who is the artist? Who do you work with for this one?
The artist is a wonderful man from Spain, Akirant, and he does some Iron Maiden artwork now. So it's incredible. It's called Akirant Illustration. Can you see it there?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's the man that does the artwork. He knew my music from years ago, and then just by some wonderful coincidences, we managed to get together, and he did some artwork for me. And I say, I have this idea, I have that idea. This song is about this person. This song is about this person. I'd like to have representations of each song. And then he says, you know what? Maybe a good style for this would be in this way. And then he sends me these magical things. And of course, another advantage was we were always thinking in the big 12-inch. So that was incredible that we didn't have to think scrunched up. It's like, no, we think of it in the big 12-inch. And look,
Beautiful.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what he did there, and that's this trail there. That's me on my motorcycle there. So it's fantastic, man. He's a wonderfully talented artist and with a great imagination. And it's incredible that someone has this awareness, great creativity and imagination, but very good with the pen and drawing, as well as very good with digital manipulation and computer graphics. He is able to put those things together. Wow.
So did you send him the album so he could listen to it and get inspired, or just discussions?
We work very closely. We have our deadline set, and right, this is when we'll start having the conversations. When we have demos that are very rough, I'll send him the demos and say, right, here's the thing. I'll send him all of the lyrics, and he will go through that and then think about the ideas. So it's quite an intense thing, and we'll have conversations like this on Skype. You know, once I was trying to describe something to him of a man diving, and he sent me like 4 or 5 different drawings, and we kept sending pictures. So in the end, I had to find a doll. I found a Barbie doll right? And I got the Barbie doll, and we had a Skype where I was holding a Barbie doll and sending and we had a Skype go like this and sending pictures of me holding a Barbie doll so that he could work out the perspective
Fucking
that
awesome.
I wanted. And then after that, we don't try to communicate by email. We go, are you available? Yes, I am, puff, and then we talk.
Awesome. O sea, yo le pregunté a Blaze sobre el artwork del disco que nos estaba mostrando del librito que viene con el vinilo. Trabajó con un artista español que ya había trabajado con Iron Maiden en el pasado, conocía su música hace mucho tiempo. Obviamente fueron conversaciones por Skype, correo, le enviaba demos quizás bien inicial, y hablándole de lo que él imaginaba para cada canción, no solamente la portada del disco, y él le mandaba varios dibujos, sus 2-3 dibujos, un caso que le mandó 4 o 5 dibujos. Ahí contó la historia que él intentaba escribirle a alguien tirándose un piquero, ¿cierto? Y que tuvo que mandarle fotos de él sosteniendo una Barbie, como para intentar explicarle lo que él quería para el disco. Finalmente terminó siendo espectacular y fue todo colaboración, ¿cierto? Era por correo, hey, ¿estáis disponible? Sí, metámonos, y Skype y conversaciones, y así se fue creando, siento, el artwork de World Within Me. Dale.
Blaze, the last words for the fans here in Chile.
Well, what I'm hoping is when things are safe, we can return. And we want to finish the concert at Coquimbo. So we only played 5 songs. We have about another 15 songs to play to finish the set.
Bueno, las últimas palabras de él para la fanaticada chilena es que, claro, que quiere que cuando todo sea seguro volver a los conciertos y volver a terminar el show de Coquimbo. Solamente alcanzó a tocar 5 temas antes de que llegara el terremoto. Le quedan 15 más para terminar el show, así que espera volver pronto a la gira y para terminar ese show. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you for your time. Really, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Please stay safe. Thank you very much for having me on Rock a la Vina, and I wish you both the very best, and wishing well. Same. And big hugs to all my fans in Chile.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.
Bye bye.
Ciao, hasta la vista.